I'm going to continue now after the video showing how the modeling of the measuring of the dress form worked. So now as you measure your model, we see on the dress form we have an acceptable measurement 5'6" to 5'8". Your model's 5'8", that's okay. You don't want to go too much taller or your changes will be too great. And also for the photo shoot, Miss Davis requires those measurements as well. The bust on the dress form at the widest point, 35 1/4. Your model measures 35 1/8. That's such a tiny difference that it would just be like a 16th, not even a 32nd of an inch at each side seam at the bust. And with the ease we have, that's not an issue. High point shoulder to apex, we have 10 inch on the form. The model measured 10 1/4. Again, that's okay. A little lower, we're going to see that we're going to lengthen the shoulder 1 1/4 inch. I'm sorry, 1/4 of an inch. And so that's going to make up the difference for the change in her measurement. Center front neck to waist, 14 1/2. Model is 15. We have to add +1/2 inch. And where that happens is at the center front waist. We have to lengthen it just a little bit, because when we measured the center back neck to waist 16 1/2 on the form and also on the model, that's probably because her posture is more straight. She's standing up more straight, and we have to even it out at the waist at the side seam. So the back does not change, the waist at the back does not change, but in the center front it does drop 1/2 of an inch. So you have to sort of angle it back upwards so that it doesn't rise right up on her. It could also be if the model's bust is a little larger, sometimes that makes a difference in the front length. Across the shoulders, 14 1/2 on the form. She's 14 3/4. You're just going to add 1/8 of an inch on each side at the armhole. Across the back, same type of measurement in the armhole, 13 1/4. She's 13 3/4. So you're going to add 1/4 of an inch at the armhole. So you're going to have to bring that out just a little bit for her back. On the waist circumference, 27 1/2. Model's measurement is 29. That's 1.5 inch difference. So you take that and divide it by 4. 1.5 inch divided by 4 is 3/8. You multiply that 4 times at each side seam and you'll get that extra 1.5 inches. So the fact that her waist is that much bigger, if your basic block is fitting the form perfect, but she's having a hard time zipping it or is pulling on the waist, that's what you would have to do in that situation. I don't know what your models are going to be, but this is just a hypothetical possibility. High hip, 4 inches below waist, 34. She's 35. Again, 1 inch bigger, and you're going to add 1/4 of an inch on each side seam at the high hip level. So you'll bring your waist has already been enlarged on the bodice and the skirt, and so you'll bring that down, that enlargement down just a little bit at the hip. And then when you get to the full hip area, she's only 3/4 of an inch larger. So that would, start to taper back down at that point. So 3/4 of an inch would be 3/16 on each side seam. So no changes here on the darts or on the other parts for this at the moment. All right, so the side waist to the knee, we did 20 inch on the video. I don't know, everyone may have a slightly different waist to knee measurement. 22 is pretty common for a 5'6", so we're going to call it 23 on this model. We need to add 1 inch of length to get to her knee length. And so you would do that at the hem. A pant from side seam waist to ankle is 40. She would needs 41. So again, if you're doing pants or a full length dress, you'll need to add 1 inch for this model. Shoulder to wrist length, we made our sleeve 22 3/4. She's measuring 24. You have to add 1 1/4 inch at the bottom of the hem, at the sleeve hem. The bicep is 13. Her bicep is 13. We're okay there. Neck width is 17. Her neck width is 17 1/2. So you have to open up at the shoulder. You have to add height, front and back, 1/4 of an inch at the height of the shoulder. So that's where we got that earlier measurement of her bust point being a 1/4 inch longer. So that'll take care of it. So just as a practice and an exercise, turn this sheet in. You can upload it in Canvas, take a picture of it and upload it in Canvas for me. That would be fine. Or you could make a copy and turn in a hard copy as your homework assignment. Okay, that's it.